my entitled cousin tried to steal my inheritance, so I let her destroy herself. When I say I had every receipt, I mean it literally. Photos of me helping Grandma with her garden, screenshots of texts where she thanked me for picking up prescriptions, voicemails of her saying how excited she was to leave me the house so I'd have a place of my own one day. But I didn't just keep those for the emotional value. I brought them to my lawyer. And remember how Sierra was claiming I'd manipulated Grandma in her final months? Well, Grandma had a caseworker who visited her weekly. That caseworker had notes, detailed ones, about how Grandma was of sound mind and how often I was there just helping out, fixing her laptop, replacing her porch light, walking her dog. Sierra's legal team didn't know any of this was coming. Now, her whole case was built on hearsay and bluster. Mine was built on documentation and consistency. When it finally came time to go before a probate judge, Sierra looked shocked that I actually showed up with a lawyer, a briefcase, and a quiet confidence she'd never seen from me before. Let me tell you, watching her squirm in that courtroom was pure poetic justice. She wore some oversized designer sunglasses inside, seriously, and acted like the whole thing was beneath her. She expected to be handed the house because she made the most noise. Instead, the judge barely needed an hour. After hearing the evidence, including testimony from Grandma's caseworker, and reviewing the notarized video will, the judge ruled that the inheritance stood exactly as written. The house mine, the savings account mine, the legal fees from her frivolous challenge, she had to pay. And she was livid. Outside the courtroom, she threw a full-blown tantrum, screaming that the system was rigged, that I stole what was rightfully hers, and that I'd pay for what I did. Then came the final twist. Because remember, Sierra is an influencer. And during the case, she'd been posting about it, constantly. Crying videos, rants about greedy family members, even calling the judge a biased dinosaur in one of her lives. She blurred my name, but not enough that people couldn't figure it out. Well, turns out one of her brand sponsors did figure it out. A health and wellness company she worked with got wind of the legal drama, and the fact that she had been publicly trashing the court system while wrapped in one of their branded robes. Not a good look. She lost that deal, and then another. Soon after, her main source of income, a boutique jewelry line that drop-shipped cheap pieces from overseas, started tanking. Not because of the lawsuit directly, but because she'd been funneling money into the legal battle instead of paying her suppliers. Customers complained. Refunds weren't processed. And then her Shopify store was taken down after multiple chargeback disputes. Suddenly, Miss Self-Made CEO was back to square one, sitting in her mom's house, complaining that the world was against her, with no home of her own, no money, and no income stream. Meanwhile, I was slowly fixing up Grandma's house. I painted the walls, cleaned out the garden, kept the old rocking chair on the porch, and every evening I'd sit there with a cup of tea, watching the sunset from the spot where Grandma used to knit. I think she'd be proud, not because I won, but because I stayed calm. I did things right. I let the truth speak louder than the noise. And as for Sierra, she faded from the family drama spotlight. The group chats returned. The cousins who'd ghosted me came around again. A few even apologized, saying they believed her until they saw the truth unravel in public. I didn't rub it in, I just smiled. Because revenge doesn't always need fire and fury. Sometimes it just takes patience, proof, in letting entitled people fall on the sword they sharpened for you.